I went to Stratford-upon-Avon, not realising that I was about to be kissed and that I was about to fall in love. The trouble with this was that I was not appropriately dressed for the occasion. For those of you who have a penis in blue jeans, you realise that it's basically on the wraps, that you know where it is, that you're voting left or right. But in a kilt, the only way is up. This is my one great fashion mistake. I'm glad to say I haven't repeated it since. Dan has often said I am one great fashion mistake, but hey, that's just that. This is called Akai, but no. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt. It's so bleeding obvious as to just what it is. It's here because it's here because it's here. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt whilst attempting to be an upstanding member of society. And then there's that embarrassing interlude, waiting for it to wilt. But that's neither here nor there. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt, especially one this, well, built and so keenly felt. Here, here, order, order. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt. You think, is there no end to it? One doesn't have to advertise or knee sign it, and it's impossible to doubt, deny, or disguise it. It's here because it's there, and it ain't going nowhere. It's better to come clean, face up, and be a man about it. Yes, it is hard to hide. Dan, man, you try it. An erection in a kilt, as I have already said. So I whipped it off and threw it casually as could be over my left shoulder. Your dress fell to the floor. There was more, but I thought it best to skip the real crude, almost pornographic bits. Suffice it to say, we let nothing get in our way, reducing the distance between us. I disappearing into you. You one very happy Venus, I one very happy penis.
One more time for Donald! And get Janice come to the stage! See where she is going!
After that very romantic poem, I'm going to do a confessional one. I hope there are no police in the audience. So, how I avoided adding to the rising divorce figures in the UK. I've been a true and faithful wife to every husband that I've had. I've promised to devote my life through thick and thin, through good and bad, but only while this rule applies. What I decide shall be, shall be. And there a problem lies. When Johnny led me up the aisle, and with a loving, manly smile, promised he would have and hold me, I loved him, but they never told me I'd have to iron 10 shirts a week. And when I ventured, can we speak about this imposition on my valuable time? Dear John insisted this was what he'd meant when opting for the sacrament. As a blunt instrument, the iron was great. John's status quickly changed, too late. An optimist, I've tried and tried. 5 times I've been a blushing bride. But all my husband failed me, so in different ways they had to go. Jim told me I should sweep and dust. He even used the rude word must. I got a broom and hit him hard. He's buried out there in the yard. Joe criticised my cooking. As an appetizer, I laced his soup with fertilizer, sliced thinly, chopped and barbecued. He flushed quite neatly down the loo. And Dave would criticise my driving. A hit and run stopped him surviving. And Ted was very critical. Poor man, he had a fatal fall. But now I found a poet who will sing and rhyme and sweetly woo. We shall be happy ever after. I don't anticipate disaster, but should he ever criticise my writing, my sharp pen between his eyes will send him up to husband heaven, and then I'll have to look for number 7. Thank you.